He is calling for new Democratic nominee in the latest Hollywood plea for Joe Biden to step aside. This just now coming out. This is an incredible development, guys. George Clooney, fresh off his co-hosting his star-filled fundraiser that he did for President Biden last month, is now calling on Democrats to pick a new nominee and for the president to be a hero in stepping aside. Clooney cited concerns over Biden's age and said that the president's appearance at that fundraiser, in which he did a sit-down with Barack Obama and Jimmy Kimmel, was similar to how he was at the debate with Donald Trump. Clooney told the New York Times, he said, "I love Joe Biden as a senator, as a vice president, as a president. I consider him a friend. I believe in him. I believe in his character. I believe in his morals. And in the last 4 years, he's won many of the battles he's faced. But the one battle he cannot win is the fight against time. None of us can," Clooney said. "It's devastating to say it, but the Joe Biden that I was with 3 weeks ago at this fundraiser is not the same Joe Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate." Clooney, so in other words, George Clooney is saying that what we saw with the president's debate with Donald Trump was exactly the same man that he saw at the fundraiser. So they were already seeing it there. Hollywood had gathered there to raise a lot of money. Matter of fact, Clooney is one of the most influential celebrity supporters of the Democrats and the Biden campaign. He used his appearance at the event to raise millions in small dollar donations, hosting a contest in which the winner could meet the actor and Julia Roberts. And when he did that, he raised $30 million for the Biden campaign 3 weeks ago. But in the New York Times op-ed, Clooney also wrote that he was unpersuaded by Biden's answers in the interview that Joe Biden did with George Stephanopoulos last week as to why he had such a poor debate performance with Trump. Clooney said, was he tired? Maybe. Did he have a cold? Maybe. But our party leaders need to stop telling us that 51 million people did not see what we just saw in that debate. We're all so terrified by the prospect, he said, of a second Trump term that we've quoted and we've opted to ignore every warning sign. The George Stephanopoulos interview only reinforced what we saw in the debate with Trump and what we saw in the fundraiser in Hollywood. Clooney also wrote that Biden's presence in the race threatened down-ballot candidates, suggesting that many Democrat lawmakers harbor big doubts about his candidacy in private. Clooney wrote, "This is about age, nothing more, but also nothing that can be reversed. We're not going to win in November with this president." This is huge, guys. The Illuminati, or the Hollywood, let's just say the Hollywood crowd has dropped the president. This is huge. Now, meanwhile, you guys saw, you probably saw Nancy Pelosi on Morning Joe yesterday, basically saying to the president, go ahead and tell somebody in private that you're ready to drop out. And so she was pushing him publicly. But now other Democrats they're divided, okay? And the donor class is not sending any more money. Hollywood has dropped them. And the big donors have, it looks like, as well. Matter of fact, Clooney is just the latest of the Hollywood figures to call on Biden to exit the race. Rob Reiner, Stephen King, that's scary. They also dropped him. And despite the vocal support, Netflix co-founder Reed Hastings and Ari Emanuel, big donors, have also dropped him. So has Abigail Disney and Damon Lindelof, who published in an essay in a deadline calling on donors to stop giving until the situation is addressed. So the donors are putting the heavy pressure on not only Biden, they're not going to give any more to his campaign. They're just going to quit giving to all the Democrats until something's done. And that's why you're seeing the wagons circling the White House, and this is why you're starting to see the big movement here. Now, Clooney went on to say, he called on top Democrats. He even called out Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi to ask Biden to voluntarily step aside. Okay? And so in an appearance yesterday on Morning Joe, Nancy Pelosi suggested that Biden reconsider his past insistence and that he was staying in the race, to reconsider this. But some of Hollywood activists in regular touch with the Democrat lawmakers have been dismayed at what elected officials say in private about Biden's situation. They're all very, very, very nervous. George Clooney also did not endorse Vice President Kamala Harris. He's saying we need to pick somebody else. Clooney wrote, let's hear from Wes Moore. Maybe, and let's hear what Kamala Harris and Gretchen Whitmer and Gavin Newsom and Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, and J.B. Pritzker and some of these other people. So he's not endorsing Kamala Harris either. He's saying, let's put all these folks out on the table and see who might be the best. They are scrambling, guys. Hollywood has just dropped the president. The big donors are dropping the president. Half the Democrat Party is split in half over this situation, and there's chaos. And the president is trying to figure out how to get through this NATO summit. And then tonight he's going to give a press conference. So it's important. I think everybody get a chance to watch it. And he's going to try to answer questions from the media, and he's going to try to be as sharp as possible. Okay. It's going to be really interested how they script this. They probably have I don't know how they're going to do it. Okay. I'm just going to say, I find it interesting that how quickly the Hollywood elite and the big donor class and the global elitist, and how quickly they turn on each other. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I guess they've been hiding all this information. They've been hiding all this from us from a long time. And then now all of a sudden, it's time. They look at the polls and they say that we got to do something.